My guest in this episode is a man expert in spiritual intelligence and the balance between feminine and masculine energies. He is Alper Tanca, the co-founder of an AI-based conscious marketing startup that shares with us very interesting topics. In our conversation, we get into the impact of spiritual intelligence on both personal and professional lives. He shares insights on how recognizing and balancing feminine and masculine energies can transform not only individual well-being, but also business practices and marketing strategies. He emphasized the importance of men connecting with their feminine side to unlock creativity and potential, highlighting the power of receptivity. He showed us how leaders can drive change by embracing spiritual intelligence and fostering a more inclusive and empathetic work culture. So as I always said, grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and join us for this episode. Welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. Well, so welcome to another episode of the Brilliantly Branded podcast, where our main purpose is women empowerment through the lens of branding. What that specifically means is maybe something that I have been saying, but now do you know that we all are our brands and we are creating what people perceive across that? It could be your personal brand, your business brand, in which the main purpose should be generating these emotional connections that will build this relationship based on trust. So I'm inviting interesting guests that are bringing their story to share. And we always talk about their expertise, but most importantly, what are making them authentic and unique and how they can add value to our purpose of women empowerment. I announced in previous episodes actually that I'm starting to bring men to the podcast as well. And this time I brought an entrepreneur. He is a co-founder of AI-based conscious marketing. He will talk about that later on. And with experience across different continents. As well, he is a visionary in the topic of spiritual intelligence. That is one of the topics that I will love to hear all the details. And actually, he have an interesting background that he will be sharing with us about how to find this balance between the feminine and masculine energies. And we will learn as well how to make a more human-centered marketing. So I think this is going to be a very interesting episode. So welcome, Alper, to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. And I just made a short introduction, but could you share with us more about who you are?
Thank you, Maria. It was a great presentation. I hope I am that interesting and we will see together. Hi, this is Alper. I'm originally from Istanbul, but I live in Marseille, France for 7 years now. And my background is I have a long history of entrepreneurship and also a little bit of corporate past. I've been involved in many projects from startups to corporate level projects. Mostly I've been specialized in business development, international business development. I had three different ventures that I did some good exits thanks to the luck, let's say. And around my 40 years old, I have felt a different invitation. I'm calling it invitation because it was like an invitation to me to find something different, to do something different about my life, something more purposeful, something more meaningful. And around my 40 years, I decided to change the direction of my life, both in personal and in business life. So I decided to understand human. So because I wanted to understand myself, why I am doing what I am doing, and what I am doing, is it relevant to what I want to do in the future? I wanted to do something meaningful, and I want to do something that I can imagine myself content and happy in the future, and adding some value to the world, not just for myself, but to others also. So I decided to do some spiritual practices like Sufism. I'm doing my master degree on Sufism, and I am working on a conscious marketing uh, startup, as you know, V7 AI, which is the unification of conscious marketing practices, and also there is a spiritual intelligence part too. So this is my
Hmm.
story shortly. The rest we will talk after, I guess.
Exactly. To make the long story short, and always when I'm asking about the background, some of my guests are like, "Well, how I am going to condense that information?" But I have to say thank you because sharing that is very important to give the context in where are you coming from and how did you arrive actually to the topic of spiritual intelligence. That for me is very important. If you wanted to explain that, because probably our audience are not familiar with that term, so if you can briefly explain us what spiritual intelligence means.
Yeah, of course, Maria. So, spiritual intelligence, basically, this is something we all have, but we choose deliberately to ignore it. Spiritual intelligence is the ability to access our inner resources and embody qualities like purpose, meaning, passion, compassion, integrity, presence, love, freedom, and joy. So, spiritual intelligence allows these qualities to infuse our lives and draws other people into our vision. It means becoming inner directed, becoming interconnected, and becoming our authentic selves. So, by becoming our authentic selves, we can listen deeply to others and create a community around us as a leader. So, spiritual intelligence is very important to be inspired and to inspire others. So I hope
Yeah.
that's clear.
Let's dig a little bit in how, for example, you can apply that in not just in your personal, but in your professional aspects of your life.
Yeah, it's a very good question, Maria, because we are reading books, listening to amazing podcasts like yours. They are all amazing
Thank
and
you.
interesting, but if we cannot apply this information into our real life, if we cannot embody them, so what is the purpose of self-development practices, right? So
Hmm.
we should do more than intellectual work. So there are 7 dimensions of spiritual intelligence. Actually, there are many, but I chose the most important ones for business life and for a leader. The first one is meaning. It's very important for Generation Z. A spiritual intelligence leader should be able to offer a vision and a purpose, a meaning to their team. This is what Generation Z is demanding. To do that, he or she has to discover his unique self, her passion in life. What is really important to me? Uh, am I envisioning myself in the future doing what I am doing right now and see myself happy and content? Does what I'm doing has any meaning to me, to the others, or to the planet? How I can change it and create something better, more meaningful? So the
Hmm.
second one is grace. That means to lead and live your life with joy and gratefulness. So life is a gift. We need to understand that and take it as a gift, living like it is a gift. So our resources are limited, and they were given to us as a present. So we can be grateful for every breath we take. And with this awareness, we can think about how I can use this gift the best way possible. The third
Yeah.
one, the third one is being inner directed, meaning finding your center and discovering your unique self. In other words,
Hmm.
knowing who you are. So the fourth one is community. It means connectedness and collaboration, which is very essential for a leader, and it is essential in our social life too. To find our place
Hmm.
in our community and build healthy relationships. Being socially engaged is what is this one is very important. We need each other to exist, so we need to understand how to connect with others in a meaningful way. And the fifth one is presence. meaning being in the moment, here and now. This is what all the spiritual practices and mindfulness practices are saying, right? Being here and now, that allow us to be awake, being attentive, present, and bring us a clarity of mind. That way we can listen very deeply. We become more open to learn and adapt. And the sixth one is truth. Truth, um, it's meaning motivating ourselves, our loved ones, and if you are a manager or leader, motivating our team through the truths, with honesty, ethically, with transparency. And the last one is wisdom. Wisdom means tapping into intuition, being connected with our inner wisdom, listening to our gut. This allows us to be more flexible, more, more adaptive, and take decisions with a wider angle. So, this is what spiritual intelligence and spiritually intelligent leader means, and this is, I think, the answer of your question. I hope.
Well, that not just answer my question, but actually bring in something very clear, and is how we are generating this collective awakening in order to be aware about what is happening and how we can address each of those seven steps that you just shared with us.
Yeah.
I think are beautiful in the sense that each of those I'm feeling very identified with them, but still, I'm thinking if the people are awake enough to realize that they can go in through those steps. That is probably one of the big topics, and that is connected with my next question, related more about how we, in the feminine and the masculine, are managing our energy. And probably that can sound a bit holistic for some of our listeners in this audience, or not. I don't know. But I'm very curious to know, you as a man, how do you think that this energy, the masculine and the feminine energy, because I know that you know about this topic, and that's the reason why I wanted to dig a little bit more about that. So, could you explain us a little bit about that topic?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if I know about that, but I am trying to understand these two energies within the creation. And unfortunately, this modernism and individualism convinced us that uh, one is more important than the other, and we are enough. We are enough. We can be individually exist by only leaning one side. So, in if when you look at all the spiritual practices or all the disciplines in the philosophy too, and even in the psychology, there is there are two energies in the existence. Yeah, it's like yin and yang, Shiva Shakti, or Jalal and Jamal in Sufism. So one is masculine, one is feminine, and they are in harmony in this existence. So these two energies exist in within us too. Doesn't matter if you are a man or woman. We both have feminine and masculine energy inside, but the ratio can be different, and they all have uh, time and place to become dominant. I realized that uh, this its importance during a spiritual work actually when that I was doing, and it was kind of a vision that the today's problems um, are the result of this imbalance between feminine and masculine energy. And in today's world, masculine energy becomes too dominant, and this is creating frustration, aggression, and all the problems now we have in our world, including the global warming, or gender problems, or this inclusivity problem in the workspaces. There is too much masculine energy, and this is how we should be aware of. So what I did is I try to understand myself, and I try to connect with this feminine energy. Look, my business partner in V7 is an amazing woman, and universe keeps sending me amazing women to be inspired and to do a positive change in this world. Masculine energy is more kinetic. Uh, it can destroy and it can create at the same time. So masculine energy is the movement, and feminine energy is a more potential energy. It receives, but it doesn't mean it's passive. On the contrary, it has an amazing power of taking what men started, let's say, and make it more than it was before. Uh, like birth, for example, woman takes one cell sperm. It's just the one tiny stuff, and she creates a miracle, right? Woman has this potential on everything she does. So is the feminine energy. So why by ignoring our feminine sides is also limiting ourselves to uh, to make what we have something more beautiful, something more than it is. We are limiting our potential by ignoring the feminine, our feminine side and feminine energy. So again, the modernism and individualism taught us that the vice versa of what I am saying. Yeah.
Yeah, agree, and I love what you just said because uh, be aware about that two energies and how we as a women are the creators of many things and still sometimes being in an environments where we are not actually having this recognition, let's say, or treating in a different way. And I am not talking from the point of a victim, but actually how the society have been sometimes ignoring that feminine energy just to move it in aside and to really don't let that being and using that energy, for example, in your case, how you will share to the world or to another men as well and other genders, what concrete actions we can take to really support and advocate for this balance between those energies in the professional environments and in the personal ones as well.
Yeah. We first start working with ourselves actually. This
Hmm.
is the beginning of everything. Becoming aware of our inner voice that is not happy if we ignore one side. Uh, it is always talking to us. Look at the women in business world now. They are competing with men. And this is a very masculine competition. I believe this is taking women a little bit away from their true nature, because today, to be honest, women's role are much more difficult than men, because they have to be a mother, they have to be a lover, they have to be a tough business person in the workplace. So, and they are a kind of this modernism forcing them to be someone actually out of their nature, and something different also is also available for men. Men, uh, I spoke to many men, and they have this feeling of inferiority, not being enough, because there is also a high weight on men's shoulders. So they are both created by imbalance in feminine and masculine energy. So woman receives and man gives. In this relationship, there is no superiority or inferiority. As I said, receptiveness of woman is not a weakness. It's her superpower. Her power to create.
It's complementary.
Yeah, it's a superpower. Her power to create something much better. Uh, We should listen to ourselves. This inner voice is not happy when we do something not okay to our nature. Let's start with this one because this is limiting our capacity, our potential. We have both energies within us, and why we are only putting forward one side, not the other one. Together, they are more powerful, and this is allowing us to express our full potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in a side note, and this is a question that came to mind, and actually, I have heard some women saying that they need to act like a man sometimes in their work environments to be respected and to be probably recognized for
Yes.
what they are doing. So, what do you think about that?
Oh, I think that it has to change. Like we have to change the way we accept roles in the work environment, in our social life, because that we need some, and this change has to start from the leaders because they are the one who inspire others, who can bring some light to the masses. We should start by convincing and maybe educating our leaders. This is what I'm trying to do with spiritual intelligence and leadership trainings. We are talking to leaders. We are showing their true potential and how they can reach to this potential. And this potential lies on the balance of feminine and masculine uh, balance. So if you become aware like this, you will be more inclusive. You will be more empathic. You will be able to understand what a woman uh, is passing through. Uh, Having a kid, a responsibility, being a wife and has to, or being a single mother, how amazing, difficult thing it is. Recently, like a few months ago, there was a association in Turkey for single mothers association, something like that. And when I was talking to them about this, they all have these problems in workplace and in their social life because they have so many different roles that they have to be perfect in each of them. They invited me to be one of the founding members. I said, yeah, why not? But I'm in France and it didn't happen. But I would love to support these people in their uh, purpose, in their because it's a struggle and we need to start with the leaders. If we can convince the leaders, we can convince uh, the others. They will convince their team. They will create a positive working environment. It will affect the whole organization, and from the organization to the whole world, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's generating that awareness about that and making you mentioned something very important is we really need to change. I mean, the solution is we really need to start to create this awareness in order for us to change. And I see that you
Yeah.
have been as well working in the marketing world. At that
Yeah.
marketing world, you are advocating for eco-friendly and human-centered marketing strategies. And I will really love, I have been part of the marketing world for many years. And now with this approach, let's say, if you can share with us what that specifically means, because well, we are doing a bit changing of a topic coming from all these human beings behaviors and ways to manage many concepts, but related with marketing. If you can talk us a little bit about that, it will be good for us to understand what is this about.
Yeah, sure. Uh, at V7AI, our mission is to revolutionize marketing through artificial intelligence by developing ethically driven, impactful solutions that empower businesses to grow sustainably and responsibly. So we strive to bridge the gap between technological innovation and conscious marketing. ensuring that every strategy enhances both corporate and global well-being.
Hmm.
So we are committed to integrating the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals into our strategies, and ensuring that every marketing plan not only support businesses growth but also advances global sustainability. So our mission is to provide AI driving solutions that enable businesses to create impactful, purpose driven, sustainably focused marketing strategies
Hmm.
that drive growth and sustainability. And
Okay.
there is a big demand uh, from it's a global demand now, especially post-COVID area changed everything. We can feel that, right? A 2019 study by Label Insight revealed that 94% of consumers are more likely to be loyal to a brand that offers complete transparency. Additionally, 73% would be willing to pay more for a product that offers complete transparency.
Hmm.
Or we talked about purpose, right? In 2018, Edelman Earned Brand study showed that nearly two-thirds of consumers around the world now buy on belief, meaning they choose brands that align with their personal values.
Hmm.
And we talked about ethical practices. 2020 survey by Mintel found that 56% of US consumers stop buying from companies they believe are unethical.
True.
So there are tons of studies like that.
Mhm.
So this indicates a willingness to support businesses that prioritize sustainability.
Correct.
So in V7 AI, we have also 7 specialized modules, each equipped with unique questions and algorithms that will allow our clients to discover how they can find ethical, relevant, conscious answers to these global trends and demands. And also each of them are connected to a chakra and deeply connected to spiritual intelligence dimensions. So with spiritual intelligence, and we start an inner development to create an outer impact. This is our motto. Uh, we also want to work one-on-one with leaders, CEOs, to give them more insight into spiritual intelligence leadership. So it's not just a marketing company. Actually, it's a transformative company. We are trying to transform leaders and the companies and in global wise the whole world.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, that is very, very interesting. I think is the way that we need to start to using technology to put it in how we are helping ourselves and how we are educating others as well in the things that are still not very clear around. And just
yeah,
to
it's a
start
ripple
to
effect.
to
Sorry,
correct, yeah. And to start to wrap up, Alper, and thank you very much for all the things that you have been sharing with us. And
you're
one of
welcome.
my last questions basically is related with the lessons you have learned across your experience. You started telling us that you changed your life after 40, and you say, well, I need to do the things differently. I need to educate myself. I need to know more about who I am. But
Yeah,
maybe you can share with us one of those learning lessons that you can pass for our audiences and how the people can apply that in their lives.
of course. Yeah, actually, yes. Start with yourselves and do not ignore your inner voice. Be in the moment all the time. Work on yourself and go out of your comfort zone. Be open, be ready to unlearn, to open space. Unlearning is the key of changing the way uh, we are perceiving life. We should be ready to unlearn all habits that is not bringing us happiness or contentment. Well, by unlearning, we open an inner space to accept more, to be more receptive, to be able to listen to others.
Yeah.
And let's be adaptive, curious, and curiosity is the key to deeply listen and connect with our
Mhm.
environment. But first, we need to deeply listen to ourselves. Maybe it's a year's work. There is no shortcuts in spirituality or personal development. So be
Mhm.
patient and be curious on everything. Curiosity is opening so many different perspectives of learning and enjoying this life, living this life as a gift. So this is what I could say to the ones. Start with yourself, start small, but be consistent. Every day, do something about it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Maria,
No,
for
thank
asking
you,
this.
Alper, for sharing that deep explanation about how we need to learn and how to really generate that awakening. And I insist on that because it have been the things that I have been more aware about, how if we don't start for ourselves to understanding what is happening, probably
Yeah,
we will be struggle trying to make changes outside that are not still make it inside of us.
yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, Alper, very much for all the things that you have shared. I will let us some links about your company and where the people can contact in you, because
Yeah.
part of the value that you are giving is all the support in many of those different topics that you have been just expressing with us today. Would you like to add something else to our listeners or say something else, Alper?
No, but if they have any question or anything they want to know, please do not hesitate to contact me, to contact us. I would be happy to uh, share my knowledge if I can. Thank you,
Fantastic.
Maria,
Thank
for
you.
this.
Thank you very much, Alper. We hope you have been inspired by this content and join us for future episodes of the Brilliantly Branded podcast. We will continue exploring the power of branding and the stories behind successful brands. And remember, if you know a woman who has built a successful brand with a unique approach and a story to share, please refer them to our podcast. We would love to learn from their experiences and share their story with our listeners. Stay tuned for most episodes of Brilliantly Branded, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, on our YouTube channel for more branding insights and women empowerment. Until the next episode, ciao ciao.